Well, you know the drill. Late at night, confused, had to fight my body and win, i.e. choke down some bile, the usual that everybody has to deal with. Have a little improvised pop filter laid on my mic, so let's start fucking rambling about a topic. In lieu of any real ideas, taking a suggestion from a pal. That being that thing I mentioned on the first video. Talking about HFY, r/HFY, the HFY little subgenre. Um, it was this or an hour of self-deprecation, so, I mean, really, you're getting the worst end of the stick here, I argue. You may be thinking to thyself, what is HFY? Because unlike you, I'm not a huge loser who spends all day on the internet. First of all, what the fuck, why'd you say that? Second of all, uh, what was I saying? Second of all, HFY is an acronym. It's another kind of a little genre in the indie writing space. Maybe it's now a full genre, like in the writing space period. I'm not fully sure. I've mentioned it before. It stands for Humanity Fuck Yeah. It is basically, well, it's predominantly sci-fi, and it seeks to, um, you know that thing in sci-fi stories where it acts like humans are the worst thing ever, or humans are just the standard and are lame with no unique features or characteristics? Adjusts microphone distance. HFY sought to um, not do that, pretty much. It's like it's supposed to be a celebration of like human's ability to, well, humans' abilities in general. Or, man, how to put it? We're cooler than we give ourselves credit for. Outside of horses, we're like the only animal that sweats. We've got great throwing capabilities. We're still built for climbing, or at least I in particular am built for climbing. My proportions are weird, right? A bunch of other shit like that. Uh, we have great capacity for love and hate in equal measure, right? The idea was with HFY is to bring out that aspect of humanity, right? That we are indeed capable of a great many wondrous feats. Oh, and man, I don't know how long HFY's been around. If I quickly dart over to the Reddit, which is where you'll find most of this writing, not all of it, but a good chunk of it. There we are, HFY. My head hurts, Lord knows why. Let's see. Can you see when it was made on here? Good lord, this, About tab has a bunch of stuff about you. I don't know when it was made, or if it says I'm bad at finding it. They've got a Discord and a Steam community. I wonder what that's about. I'm not joining, but I'm just, I wonder. Anyway, it's a pretty big, um, writing space in Reddit anyway. It's a pretty big sub. Number 12 in writing overall, it says 358,000 have joined. I'll say right now I am one of them. A couple hundred people online right now. Oh, that's an ad. So it's a pretty big thing. I think it started on Tumblr. I can't confirm that, but I think it did. Some like related shit to HFY that is like in a similar vein, though not exact, is humans are space orcs. We'll get into that later. Humans are space fae. Um, you'll see a trend with the humans are blank thing. Let me see if they have the associated subs here. Contest winners, featured content, humans are... Nope. I think Space Orcs has a few on the associated thing. Let me just start over very quickly. Yeah, as per usual, this isn't very organized. No homophobia based. No, it doesn't say. What the fuck? Damn. I should script these. Anyway, HFY is a pretty big subgenre. Genre, rather. I gotta get better at specifying stuff like that. So, Oh, I don't know how loud I just got. I shifted my headset. So with HFY, right, you have a bunch of people. There's like several years worth of content that you can comb through. Lots of it is big enough to, I don't know if people have like took what they've written and made proper books on them. I think some people have. I know people did that with lit RPGs, much to my chagrin, because I don't know. I didn't think they were very good when I read them, but I mean, people have their own opinions, and here am I to disrespect them. I'm no opinion disrespecter. Don't make a grounded video on me. That is ancient lore, and if you know that, you're a loser. Anyway, um, some series have been big enough to warrant their own subreddits. Nature of Predators is one you might have heard. I don't remember how long it was. Anyway, I remember getting into it and then losing my place and then not wanting to go through Reddit's awful ass searching system, so I just dropped it. Might try to find a mega link later, or mega thread. Anyway, so you get stuff like that with the Nature of Predators series as an example. Um, Not all of HFY is a sci-fi future setting genre. Much of it can be fantasy, much of it can be contemporary fiction. Is that what it's called? Or some of it can be urban fiction. I mean, urban fantasy, not urban fiction. That's just fiction in an urban setting. Um, but you don't gotta restrict yourself to just the future. Sorry, still fighting off my body. I had mentioned once, like my stomach acid's like eating through me. It's like I got a lot of really bad acid reflux, and it's like a lot of biles in my throat right now. Let me get the healing power of that one color of Gatorade. You know the color. Let me just lean over right quick. There we are. Open up the damn bottle. I'm healed. It's not just me, right? This one color, it's like a fucking alchemical potion to heal you when you're ill. When you've fallen under some bugs. Anyway, so most HFY, like the protagonists will be humans. I got my gripes with human protagonists. I got less gripes than I got loves with them. Because again, I mentioned prior in the fantasy tropes, because God, I love repeating myself. Is that like having a non-human protagonist can be hard because we as humans, oh God, have defective bodies apparently because we as humans tend to like patterns. We seek it out. Pattern seeking brain. You know how it goes. Mother, may I have pattern seeking brains? To flee from predators? Yes. Actually develops addictions like a boss. Dopamine time. Anyway, um, we as humans love patterns. As such, we create them when we make things. All of music is a pattern. It's a beautiful pattern. Love listening to music, believe it or not, as a human. That I am. Glances around room suspiciously. Alongside um, art, art that, think of architecture. You'll have pillars with symmetrical designs on them. They're beautiful. We love them. Art shaped with hands. What did I look down to make sure I even did? Whatever. Point I'm trying to make is, as a human, since you like patterns, you're likely going to fall into patterns when you do writing. I mentioned before the 5-act structure and how it's bullshit and stories are more than 5-act structures, but I mean, it has its place and it has its reasons. You can broadly categorize everything as the opening, beginning, middle, and epilogue, right? And then you get into more stuff like the denouement and the wind down and stuff like that. Ooh, I want fucking Chick-fil-A waffle fries. What the fuck? Ah, man, it's so late though. And I can't drive. And I'm broke. Anyway. So because of your little pattern-seeking brain, you're likely to end up writing a protagonist that is very human-like. Or just outright a human, but with some funny racial feats bolted onto the sides of them. So having like a full story with that is hard. And it's not like it's impossible to do, but You get what I'm trying to say here, right? I'd rather personally just cut out the middleman. All my protagonists are humans, even if there are other species in my worlds. I wasn't playing D&D, but that's just because you copy and paste Tolkien settings, stuff like that. Maybe I'll have more to say on that in a future video. I love repeating myself after all. I say repeating myself. Anyway, lost the plot, remembered it. So, most HFY is human protagonists, not a bad thing. Sometimes, like little one offs and multi shots, are like alien protags or fantasy race protags. Or sometimes during the story, you'll get POV switching to another race. I should have mentioned POV switching in that previous video I made. Personally, I am not a fan of POV switching in writing. I don't do it end of story, because I'm weird and autistic and I don't like it. So my issue with uh, perspective swapping is A, keeping everything in sync timeline wise. I um I don't like flashbacks so much. Nor do I like I'm fine with time skips. It's just like flashbacks kind of irk me because it feels like retcon, and I'm like, oh, retcon's bad, don't retcon anything. Which is why I don't like POV switching, because by making canon what someone else is doing, I now have to listen to it. You know what I'm trying to say? And I understand the need or want for POV switching, like if you're having the POV swap to the villain, and you're showing what the villain's doing or how the villain's reacted after the fact, stuff like that. Your typical Saturday morning cartoon with like the Legion of Doom for the fucking that one Justice League cartoon I ever watched because I never really got into superheroes. Takes yet another sip of water. Actually, the healing power of this particular flavor. Not my favorite flavor, but it is healing me. Um, what was I saying? Something about perspectives, right? As such, I don't personally do it. I don't like it when stories do too much POV switching. Um, I can barely stomach it when, if the story's good, I can stomach this. You ever be reading a fic and it's got day one, it's your main protagonist, and then this next chapter is day one again, but with your secondary protagonist. Like if it's a ship, it's like the first day with this character, the second day with this character, it's the same character but from their perspective. That fucking bothers me, and if the story's good, I'll stick with it. If it isn't, bye bye story, you didn't capture my attention, I'm sorry. He says, not being sorry at all. Blows up stories with mind. No. Anyway, I had a point. Um, and I lost it. I guess what I was trying to say is like HFY stories. I know Nature of Predators did that a lot, which is what led to the confusion and me losing my place and then not picking it back up because Reddit's search feature fucking sucks. Uh, that the POV swapping confused the hell out of me, especially when your alien races have a. I get the want for alien races to have unique names because it's an alien race and that's cool. Please also have like a human translated version, even if it's just like a color. If your unique arrangement of consonants, apostrophes, and a vowel every 17th letter doesn't have like a Yumi translation, I either skip reading the name or it just pisses me off for the entire story. Because, yeah, sure, I can read it and maybe understand what it's pronounced like in my head. I don't want to. I want it to be easy to read, and if I so happen to need to call that character Piper in my head, I'll do it, man. Just give me the fucking, like, go ahead, because I hate doing it myself, because I'll read the word and forget my own nomenclature in my brain and be like, what the fuck is, who is this again? Right? So, it's another reason why I hate POV swapping. It'll say, this character's perspective, and I'm like, who the fuck is this again? And I have to keep a little notepad of characters and their names. I don't want to do that. Um, if you hadn't guessed this, despite liking the subgenre, this still will be an angry rant, because God, I hate showing affection for things. especially for myself. You thought this would be the HFY video. It's the self-deprecation video in disguise, you fool. I'll keep it to a minimum, don't worry. Or I'll try to anyway. Um, let's start with some positives before I delve into some negatives, and let's maybe try to add on some positives again. Like I mentioned, this is showing off some cool, lesser thought of points of humanity. For example, like I mentioned before, we're really fucking good at throwing shit. That's what got us on the map in the first place, is hucking spears, ain't it? I think spear chucker's a slur for someone. Ruminate on that for a bit, and then stop ruminating on it. So, we're really good at throwing shit. Almost all of our sports have to do with throwing shit, or they have to do with not throwing shit, and that's the challenge, right? Because we're really good at it. Our body plan is designed for it. Your arms are shorter than your legs proportionally, so that you can get some proper torque buildup, as opposed to most other apes, which can just lob shit. They can't really throw, they can just toss. And their throws are inaccurate, and their tosses are inaccurate. Input video of orangutans tossing back purses at the zoo. Anyway, humanity's ability to toss shit is unparalleled in the animal kingdom. It's, like I said, what got us on the map. It's what allowed us to hunt down megafauna and fauna in general, I suppose, with minimal risk to ourselves to allow us to have more kids, right? We outfucked other animals. That sounds bad, but we did. We didn't. If we didn't fuck the animals, we just outfucked them, right? We had too many kids; they couldn't keep up. Especially once we developed spears, so that they couldn't kill us when we hunted them. Also, we had cooperation. Even without weapons, the gorilla stands no chance against 100 men. Men could be sick, and the gorilla stands no chance. Gorillas are one of the most overhyped animals when it comes to fighting prowess. Gorillas are, they're not weak, but not, they don't endure. They tire themselves out very quickly. They have no concept of fighting in general, and they're cowards. But let's not factor in the coward part, because that's not the point of the argument. The point of the argument is, what could 100 people beat a gorilla? Yes. Like I said, the gorilla is very poor at fighting. All that power has no real purpose outside of like batting aside a jaguar. And even though the jaguar is gonna kick the ass of the gorilla, they regularly fucking hunt gorillas. It's crazy shit. Um, sure, the gorilla could like break the ribs of a few people, maybe kill one or two. It'll get tired and follow the mob, right? It'll get shoved to the ground and it'll get trampled. Like 3 people can stand on its throat and it can do nothing against that, as like 2 other people hold down the arms. The gorilla's dead. I got off topic. Point I was trying to make is like you could keep going at that angle, right? Like because you think of like future settings, you think of las weapons, even though las weapons will never exist because lasers are not weapons, they're tools for science and medicine. Weapons is weapons, guns forever. Only laser weapons that will exist are point defense to fry missiles before they land. Costly, uh, energy intensive, and immobile. An infantry sized las weapon will not and cannot exist as we understand lasers today. So, what I'm trying to say is kinetics Chad stay winning, lays cells, uh, well, nothing ever happens, so, sucks to be y'all. Good thing I picked the right weaponry. So, but we think of las guns when we think of like future settings, and regardless of what I say, you're gonna put las guns in your setting because you think it's cool. Not me though, I think it's lame. So then you, oh yeah, energy deflector shields, personal deflector shields for captains, commissars, whatever. What is the human's answer to this? Well, a gun, yes, but also a grenade. Pluck this off my chest, put my finger in a little engagement hole, engagement ring. That's now I made a sound. The pop filter caught it. It was like me holding the pin. I chuck that shit at you. And 2 seconds later, you're no longer an issue. which leads us into our next segue. After I had the barest minimums of positives to say about human traits, let's tackle the biggest issue in the room with this of most of HFY. After I take another sip. So it's real obvious to tell that a lot of HFY authors' favorite faction in Warhammer is the Space Marines. Um, what was I saying? Yes, so what was I saying again? Hold on, let me pause right quick to gather my thoughts because I was texting someone. Okay, so I remember what I was saying. If I think this is yep. Okay, I clicked play. Um, so I remember what I was saying right with HFY. It's kind of obvious to tell what kind of the faction, what the author's favorite faction in Warhammer is. That being the Space Marines. Sips. Why do I say this? This is because a lot of HFY settings are pretty, how do we say, genocide-y. I mentioned before genocide is a good idea for a plot. However, this is unapologetic. We will murder these horrible beasts that want nothing to do but conquer and eat us, and we're the good guys for this. Militarize to the nth degree and kill them all from space! Glass their whole planet because they killed one city. You know what I'm trying to say here? It's like there can be no nuance. Humans are the good guys. This is an issue a lot with plenty of stuff of humans are the unapologetic good guys in X scenario. Warhammer, try as it might to say everybody's fucked up. The imperialism of man is no better. With how much books and content and shit there is on the Yumis and justification for their actions, they're like one of the better factions. I'm gonna be real with you. And so like Tau and I'm getting distracted again. So I think it's okay to kill all Slaneshi though. That's perfectly acceptable. Um, so like I was saying, a bunch of these have the issue of like humans will do no wrong by exterminating this supposedly like warmongering species. You see that a lot with these stories. I can scroll and find it. Bam. Immediately. One right there. Bam. Another one. Let me go to top of all time and see what we can get. Probably actually nature predators. Nope, why humans avoid war. I can guess what this one's about. So, you'll get the typical buzzwords after I take another sip. Indomitable human spirit. I like this. First of all, I love the indomitable human spirit. Next is you'll get like, so I'm gonna get into my issues with some of the HFY tropes as a wider whole with this. I don't like it when the wider regions of space as a whole are pussy-ass bitches who roll over at the first sign of conflict, and that's why the warmongering species has been allowed to propagate itself so far. You always get, like, the human outposts got attacked. They rally to the Galactic Council, or Galactic Confederation, or Galactic Federation, because the Confederates South ruined the word Confederacy. You always get that they rally to the Council. Why will you not help us? Because you cannot stop this evil warmongering race, and you must appease them. You're humans, this is what you must do. And humans go, no, fuck you. We'll defeat them. And then within like 3 battles, they defeat them. Right? Because the warmongering race has never seen actual combat, and that's a huge fucking plot hole. You telling me they never anticipated camouflage? You fucking with me? Look, I love human like warfare tactics as much as the next guy. Literally, like that being said, I don't think about ancient Rome a lot. Fuck the Romans. Uh, fucking actually like worst people around. Anyway, look at those zip. As much as I love warfare tactics, as much as the next guy, and reading about them, but my warfare autism is on supply lines, not like spec ops guys. I don't really give a shit about them. But the idea of like space caravans needing to be defended from like a multi like planetary long pilgrimage, That's some cool shit right there. Alright, you piqued my attention, but it's never about that. It's always about decisive crushing victories, which is not how wars are won, first of all, but I'm getting off topic here. We're overlooking the fact that humans genocided a fucking race and they're seen as the good guys in the story. What the fuck? So, you get this a lot because they're not characterized beyond anything but me want fight good, like orcs. You know what I'm getting at? Like orcs. I hope you know what I'm getting at, because I don't know what I'm getting at. Why did I repeat myself? Um, anyway, these races are not going to be characterized as anything beyond me want good fight. You give me good You give me good fight. Great heavens, the fight has been too good. I am wiped out. No, you are the victor. You're the hero of the story. And that's really uncomfortable that that's just like the hero of the story. Because it's not an over exaggeration when I say like the wider majority is this, much to my dismay. Because I didn't read HFY to be like, oh wow, look at how good the humans are at fighting. I read HFY to be like, oh wow, look at how unique this human aspect I look over is and can be applied more easily in wider scenarios, such as like an alien planet. Like, ah man, I'm blanking right now. But you know what I'm on about. Even just showing human cooperation with one another. Or like taming of animals. Which will never be written correctly because taming animals is a very long, difficult process, shit like that. But you get what I'm on about. Side note. I am on the hunt for a kind of story. I immediately forgot what I was gonna say, and then I remembered it. So it's like, this is mega autism gonna flare up. So it'll be one single protagonist, stuck surviving with nothing. You've seen the channel Primitive Technology because, like me, you're awesome and cool and super. Have a bunch of free time with nothing better to do, but learn how to make limestone with nothing but natural materials. So think of like primitive technology shit. And a lone human, you can like I don't know whatever the plot hook will be, but the point is like them surviving day to day, and that's the overarching goal of like holy shit. After a week, I finally actually made my first bowl. This will make gathering water slightly easier. That's the kind of story I want. I've been looking for a story like that for a while, and I'm bad at looking shit up, and more importantly, I don't have energy to do any of that shit. So if anybody has a story like that, even thinks they know a story like that, please, for the love of God, give me a recommendation. I'd love to look at it, but like, I want to specify like from day to day, things seldom change, right? It is a slow, gradual process, the best kind of process, because it's cool. I wager the story would be kind of boring, but I still really want to read one like that. Anyway, um, back to my issue with back to my issue with the genocide happy humans. It's I don't want to throw around the word fascist, right? Even though I did earlier, because it's just a story, probably a kid's first story. They want to do something cool like big awesome space battles. I get it, but when that kind of becomes all you is, to the point where some of the writing subs have like HFY as an insult, something's got to change. And as such, I don't read those stories anymore. I don't leave them any like positive fucking what am I looking at? The word. I don't leave them like upvotes and shit. I don't like upvote their stuff because I'm like, oh, this sucks. I don't really want to read stuff like this, so I move on. Because I really am here for humanity. Fuck yeah, not oh humanity. Why'd you do that? What the fuck? This is not cool. Or humanity. Fuck yeah. I.e., you are all horny bastards and would absolutely fuck the shit out of alien species regardless of what they look like. So stop making them humanoid, you cowardly bitch. I'd fuck a space spider. Maybe that says something about me being incredibly lonely.
But I'd fuck a space spider. I made thought of a lamprey, and I was like, would I? And I was like, sure, why not? Lampreys are cool animals. I'm not like obsessed with them or anything, but like they're cool animals. I like gators more than I like anything else. They're cool. Those are cool animals. A gator's a cool ass animal. Imagine going to another planet. All the animals are different, but there's also just some gators there. Because it's peak evolution, like a crab. Gator crabs, what that look like? They like grab on you with their claws and they roll around, rustling parts of you off until you die, and then they just start eating you. That's kind of cool. So it'd be called like the wrestler crab instead of the gator crab, but I'd throw a fit. They wouldn't get me anywhere, but I'd throw a fit about it. Call that shit a gator crab. It'd be cool. Oh man, the way they hunt is just okay. This is HFY, not gator talk. Gator maxing. So I'm gonna just keep repeating myself if I keep trying to explain my issues with the story. But you get what I'm on about. I hope is I came here to see more than just the same humans win the space battle story. Mostly I came here to see the logistics of your battle and then you failed to deliver, but whatever. So let's move on to something else in HFY. The basic human concept is not known by the wider galaxy. I guess it's more believable, but it's less believable when your aliens, like, don't have calculators or something. Or your aliens don't understand the concepts of a movie, or like a microwave, or a fridge, or a common household appliance, or I guess clothes would maybe make sense. Um, so this is airing towards the HFY writers make humans as Mary Sue's that you see often. And this is that's true. Yep, this is pretty true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, that's pretty true. In that Trainwrecks clip, I mentioned that one time. So I say adjusting my headset, not knowing the havoc it will rain upon my audio settings, i.e., whatever the fuck this thing came with. So my issue with humans are Mary Sue's concept is that it's lame as fuck to read. Oh, haha, this alien, it simply does not grasp the concept of my fucking thermostat. Isn't this wacky? Or, egads, this alien has never experienced rain. The poor fool. He thinks it's dangerous. There is no fucking way. End of story. No fucking way an alien has not experienced rain. Oh, what if they gave him a desert planet? Planets are not like that. And we will get into something like that in a little bit, as alien biospheres. Maybe this could just be considered a wider sci-fi, but I'm just gonna kind of focus on HFY stuff for a bit. Despite not liking future settings and sci-fi and space travel and stuff, I still read this stuff. It's just not my preference. Never watched Star Wars though, I never really. Or Star Trek or Battlestar Galactica, but nobody's seen that, not anymore, so that's normal. What was I saying? Something about HFY tropes and stars and alien biospheres. But that was a future thing. What did I say before? Something about, right, rain. There is no fucking way an alien has never experienced rain just because of the necessity of water for life and the concept of the water cycle. An inescapable concept. Pretty sure it even fucking rains on Mars. I'm gonna look that up later. I don't know if that's actually true, but I'm pretty sure it does. You know what? I have a phone. I can look it up right now. But I don't like the concept of alien doesn't understand basic concept. And we explore that for a couple dozen chapters. Because it really just feels lame. If you know what I'm trying to say. I don't give a shit about your AI answer, Google. Give me a proper answer. Does not rain anymore. Huh. It used to. But there's still type of precipitation. Haha. So, sure.
They might not see rain specifically, but they'll still understand the concept and know it's not fucking dangerous. But whatever, the specific thing, I'm gonna go pause, get some water, stuff like that, because I don't want to drink just this, and I'll be back in a second. Oh, good, I paused. I was worried. So let's move off of HFY tropes in specific and go into some community stuff. Um, Number one issue in the community, YouTube ratings. Now, I am not against YouTube ratings in the slightest. Uh, it is. I'm into fan fiction. I read this shit. Every now and again, you'll get someone who turns fan fiction into a reading on YouTube. Hot damn, is that a mark of pride for someone? Never happened to me. Probably won't ever, but you know what I'm trying to say? Like, oh, it's really cool to have someone adapt your story and like put it into another form. So, why do I bring up HFY? Well, if you go to YouTube, kids at home, follow along. Not kids, because I swear I'm talking about shit kids better read anyway. HFY, type that into the search bar. Oh, hey, look at that. An AI generated thumbnail with a fucking text to speech voice that just copied and pasted the script. Let's see how often they post. 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 7 hours ago, 9 hours ago, 13 hours ago. Hmm, that looks like to me. Well, the last 4 videos were released 2 hour intervals. Beyond that, it was a 4 hour one. And then it was long enough to be a whole day ago. But let's go to oldest first. Yep, year old, AI generated. Hell, maybe the stores are AI generated too. I don't watch these things. Let's see. Popular. Wow, that's a good amount of views. 338,000. Let's see here. 30 minutes long, 45 minutes long, 31 minutes long, an hour 30, 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 37 minutes, 33 minutes, 26 minutes, 45 minutes. You see, like, what I'm trying to say here? This one, another very obvious AI thing, 43 minutes. Another AI generated slop, 30 minutes. These are different channels. Different channel, 33 minutes. This one is as well from the first channel I looked at. I know there is a guy who does real ones, and I can never find his channel anymore. Is this you? Checks your playlists. Well, this appears to be you. So I guess I'll just drop his name, because he's a real person, and we like that. It'll be out when it's out, and we like that. Uh, his name is Net Narrator on YouTube. He's got a huge back catalog of shit. Uh, he's got tons of stories that he's all human narrated. I'm gonna just double check that this is this guy. I'm not too sure about those thumbnails though, but it's hard to look at them. I'm gonna pause right quick so nothing picks up over the mic and just double check this is the guy. Yep, it's him. Don't worry, it's a person. Again, I'm not sure about the thumbnails. If you can't, if you couldn't gather, I'm not the biggest fan of AI generated shit, picture or otherwise. And I'm not fully sure because I'm not really bothering to strain my eyes to check, but if it is, I hope it stops. For the human voice sector. Says zero AI trash, AI slap rather, but don't know about those thumbnails. Anyway, I can never find his channel and I always forget his name. This is because of the AI generated slop that fucking pollutes the YouTube when you search this shit. That goes for a bunch of stuff even beyond HFY, I think. It's just like if you look up a story reading, you're gonna, the first thing you're gonna find is a stupid fucking bot posted some shit. And I fucking hate that personally. I mean,
It's to the writing for the human, knowing the human made this and shared it to other humans to read, not because of fucking romance, shoved it right in front of me and on his Google. I think if a person gives it though. They'll say, no, this is gruel. And they'll be like, yeah, I know it's gruel. I'll be like, okay, at least you know it's gruel. Right? Uh, when I'm trying to make this, I fucking hate that about HFYs that attracted these stupid grifter tech bros more than some of the other genres you see. It's my blood boiling to that much. Whatever. So it's either that guy, that narrator, or reading yourself. I don't mind reading them yourself. Even still, you should probably read it yourself and maybe drop an upvote if you think it's actually good. But sometimes I want to put on some noise in the background and I go, HFY will do today. And I can't find it, which fucking sucks. Back to the quality of the stories. Not always the greatest thing in the world. Um, as I was scrolling through that stupid AI slop shit, don't worry, I didn't click on a single video that gave a review. I recommend you don't either. Can't stop you, but please don't. I'm fumbling for my phone in the dark. Here it is. Oh! Blinded myself. I should turn down the brightness. Ah, much better. I wasn't fumbling around here and just scroll through back up again. First response to genocide. Stopping civilized. Humans we live in a class 13 death world. I assumed humans fear the dark until we hunted in it. I know Alien Academy allows humans in history class with a supervised war something. Start with a C. So, I understand that a good chunk of it's probably AI, like, generated clickbait title, because I'm pretty sure they can do that. Wouldn't be really hard for them, to be real. But, ugh. I forgot what I was gonna say, give me a sec to remember. Uh, but even if that isn't the case, then those stories fucking sucks, right? By the title alone, I don't want to see it, or listen to it, or read it. But you know what I'm trying to get at here is I fucking hate the deluge of AI generated slop polluting the internet when I try to look up HFI content. Not what I'm here for. Please leave. Anyway, so where do we continue from here? Maybe to the point we're trying to make Egypt. Yeah, that's a good point, but please stop insulting me. I do enough of that myself. So, not every story is a winner. We all know that going in. We give it some time. If we don't like it, we drop it. The beauty of free online content. But, I don't know. Something about HFY in particular feels like maybe the barrier for entry is much lower than for anything else. I ponder upon you. And as such, I don't find myself sticking with a lot of the stories I'll give a try. Oh, what's that? You gave up on the story very quickly again? Okay, yeah, I get it. I give up on shit pretty quickly. But I find myself doing it pretty fast with HFY looking for something to read late at night. It just never ends up being something I end up liking. But, you know, I still do respect the drive to create something and put it up for anyone to see. Never disparaging the creator, just I don't like your content. Sorry, pal. I hope you stick with it though. I need more things to read. But you get the same tried and true things. I already mentioned the first two that encompasses a huge margin of HFY content. Of the alien is regularly shocked by basic thing, or aliens get genocided by humans and the humans are the good ones. Or you get something like this. This is on port 599. I don't really want to go through 599 Reddit posts to read a story.
Reddit fucking sucks when organizing shit, and if you keep going through them, it will just break on you. I should know. Reddit broke on me when I tried to go through nature predators. Trying to see other, like, I'm been occasionally scrolling through, um, this stuff as I say things. I'm, like, crawling through the feed just to see if anything sticks out at me that I can immediately jump on and say. So far, doing that hasn't functioned. Oh, hell yeah, dice ad. Now, that's weird. That I'm actually getting ads targeted towards me. I don't like that. Thought I turned that off in settings. I'll check later. Fucking always. I always say no, and it doesn't ever fucking actually do no. I hate that about it. Whatever. So I already mentioned the quality standards dropping, my things or issues with it. Let's go jump back on the alien biospheres thing. So HFY creators should spend more time doing Spec Evo or looking into Spec Evo or just take a biology course because the shit they have their world building be is ludicrous. Planets, I'll start with this. Planets are not one single solitary environment, biome, whatever you want to call it. And if we back to fantasy, you are not free from it either. One continent is not one continuous environment. Look at North America. We got desert, we got plains, we got mountains, we got hills, we got snow, we got fucking cold regions. Even Africa is not one huge desert, right? Places full of lush forests and jungle and shit. I'm not a geography guy, so I can't say much easily. Even Britain itself, despite being a swampy mire, half the time's got some good fucking views in it, right? And that's just on Earth. If Earth isn't one single solitary environment, why do you have your alien worlds be like that? Let's have things be a bit more fun, yeah? I say mumbling to the fucking winds. Whatever. The point I'm trying to make here is that they can really serve to have their environments be more varied and diverse. And, man, same can be said with their flora and fauna. Let me just get up again with some more water. I'll be back. So I'm back, took a sip of water, all that. Um, oh, I remember to say it this time. If you need to, get up, stand, stretch. It's good to take care of your body. And eat your vegetables. Fucking love broccoli. Steamed broccoli is the shit. Anyway, what was I saying? Spec Evo. And diverse flora fauna. So, now this was human diversity. Human diversity is incredibly large, and I love that. Earth's biodiversity, fucking immense. Incredible. Historically and in modern times. Look at the ocean historically. Look at the ocean now. Look at hills historically. Look at hills now. Consider, if you will, I'm trying to think of a cool animal to hedge everything on. Consider certain types of tarantulas. No, I do not remember their names, but it doesn't matter right now. There are certain types of tarantulas out there that will bond themselves with little itty bitty tiny frogs. The frogs seek earn defense by having this watchful protector guiding, you know, not guiding them, protecting them, watching over them to ensure no birds, or not bird, like no big lizards or other frogs will come close and eat them. And the spider, or tarantula, which, no, I think they are different. And the tarantula gains a little baby protector, as the frogs will go and eat bugs that would attack their vulnerable eggs, or bugs that might have just bit the tarantula or something. That is a wonderful little bit of Earth life right there. The tarantulas will like even scent on their little pet frogs to ensure they know which one's theirs and they won't eat it by accident. It's very cute. So someone out there has to have like done a ship fic for that, right? I'll have to look into that later. Big, strong Spider Woman, tiny little frog guy. That'd be awesome to read. Very clear. My preferences now, I feel, but I don't give a shit. If you know me, you know me. What did I mean by that? I don't even know. What was I on about? Earth biodiversity. So like that is one example of cool interactions between animals, which should be considered more often. It's like it's a food web, not a food chain. It's a food web, knock-on effects and all that. Um, but before I go on to like a food web and what it might realistically look like, because sometimes realism is good for your stories, when it fits your story, when it works with your story, when it's healthy for your story. Let's consider parasitic wasps. I mentioned it prior. What a disgusting fellow creature that is, isn't it? Paralyzes the caterpillar, lays its larvae inside of it, larvae wriggle their way out, eating the bug. And the cycle repeats. Fetid, nasty being. But it's so cool, no? Don't worry, all you Yumi space lovers. Space loving Yumi is what I meant to say. Alien parasites will have no effect on you. Parasites are designed for a specific creature, and sometimes even a specific part of a creature. They will do nothing to you. Diseases, shit, that's a wild bag. Who knows about that? Poisons, yeah, probably. Also watched that video by that one guy said like, could humans realistically survive on only alien food? He talks about like actual science and stuff. It's really interesting. Let me pull up the video by name and by creator so you know the one I'm talking about. Um, but while I look this up, um, let me think of another creature. Um, I guess now we can just talk about food weapons as a whole. I'm gonna shit about these stupid fucking YouTube shorts off of my fucking feed. Um, fuck, how do I say your name? Biblaridion? Biblaridion. And it's called Would Aliens Be Edible? Watch that video, it is very interesting and could be benefit if you want to do a realistic thing, of course. Oh, wow. Look at this huge. He's got videos on alien biospheres, he's got videos on conlangs, how to make a language. Wow. Okay, this is a haven. I'm gonna subscribe and watch your shit later, dog. Anyway, what was I saying? Food webs. So, food webs are a lot more than just the producer, the herbivore, and the predator. This is still HFY because a lot of HFY has like human colonists before anyone gets mad. Mostly me, because I'm like, this could just be sci-fi in general, but I'm still gonna call it HFY because I'm still looking at it through that lens. This is me complaining that more HFY writers don't do shit like this. So you'll usually see something like that. The producer, the herbivore, the predator. Maybe you'll get a few of each if you're lucky, but they never consider one another beyond eating. The rabbit treats the forest like a place to. Well, the rabbits are plains creatures. The rabbit treats the tall grass like a buffet, correct. But it treats it like a home. They got places they go, they got places they don't go, right? They have parts they eat and parts they trim to keep a clean nest or a burrow. Stuff like you get what I'm trying to say here is like the rabbit uses it as more than just a food source. Animals may be simple, but they're not stupid. They understand more than we might think. The bird, like badgers and hawks, I think it was, they team together. The badgers chase uh, burrowing creatures out of their well burrows. And the hawks swoop in and they crack the fucker as they run. Or the badger gets a meal, or the hawk scares it into the burrow for the waiting badger, stuff like that. Predator cooperation. Some more stuff like that should exist in alien biospheres. More. What am I trying to get at here? What am I trying to get at here? I don't know, so we'll move on. The typical trope of big evil apex predator that will stop at nothing to kill the protagonists is quite frankly fucking ridiculous. To put it politely. So Predator knows that it goes hungry. Predator knows it's hungry. So what does it do? I'll tell you what it doesn't do. It doesn't chase one little scrawny fucking snack to the ends of the entire planet because it wants to eat him. Mostly because it doesn't know what it is and will be confused by it and probably ignore it. Apex predators eat what can sustain it. How do I put it? A lion probably wouldn't eat a bunny. Probably. It would still kill it more than likely, but it probably would be like, oh, this is not worth it to hunt. Wife, go fetch me a gazelle. Because male lions don't know how to hunt, and that's the female lion's job. Male lions really only fight other, like, male lions, I think. I don't know, I'm not a lions guy, believe it or not. So, where was I going with this? So, apex predators will really not expend more energy than it's necessary. They'll kill the slow, fat herbivores that are good for eating, that can actually sustain them and maybe their children. They won't bother with you, really. At least not usually. Hell, you might even scare them because you look weird. So, that's my displeasure with that trope. I don't like it. It kind of makes me roll my eyes and go, yeah, sure, whatever. Trope that makes me roll my eyes and go, yeah, that'll never fucking happen at all. I'm kind of sick of seeing this in media. Is the big, slow, dumb, friendly herbivore trope. Sure, there are big, slow herbivores. Sure, they might be dumb as fuck. But they sure as hell are not friendly. Take the beautiful Triceratops from the Jurassic Park films, for example. The Yuis can just walk up and pet the fucker. Hell no. That shrike could trample your ass, impale you, bore you to ribbons, trample you, because you dared to encroach upon its, like, a ring of influence. Animals don't like that. Herbivores really don't like that. They fight like they don't give a damn, because they don't give a damn. A predator, you can scare it off with some fighting, because it understands it needs to, like, be healthy to hunt and eat. An herbivore that only needs to forage, dude, it's you or it, and it's not going down. Elephants will chase you off if you get too close. Rhinos, wow, rhinos are dangerous. Hippos, you know hippos? Don't sneak up behind a horse, it'll crack your ribs. Everyone knows this, right? So let's not make alien creatures an exception at all, in the slightest, because it's more interesting that way. Not every herbivore, too, is going to be the big, dumb, little friendly idiot either. Have a bunch of little weird freak creatures, like rats. I know rats eat meat, but like rats. Rat-like little fuckers, right? I guess hamsters, but even hamsters eat bugs. Okay, so let's tackle this real quickly. Obligate herbivory and obligate carnivory do not exist. They are not real. How do I put this politely? Well, there's no reason to. They're animals. They don't understand me. Not to say animals are not intelligent. Whale songs have several hundred distinct words or something along those lines, something or other. Why is it? It's like the beasts we trust with our lives. Another video I watched that was phenomenal. Tackles the concept of, like, animal sapiens, I think. Beasts. That is beats. I wanted the word beasts. That we trust with. Sorry, I'm getting distracted, but you should have known that ahead of time. By Curious Archive, and monsters we trust with our lives. That's it. Watch that video. It was very well made. So, obligate herbivory and obligate carnivory do not exist. They are not real. A carnivore is still required to eat some greens. It'll know the ones it needs to eat, right? That's why dogs eat grass. It's because sometimes they just need it. Not because they want to vomit, because sometimes they just need a specific kind of like enzyme or nutrient from plants. Like a wolf will eat a fucking like root. Sometimes they'll go out of the way to dig up roots and shit. Bunnies tear apart some like meat every now and again. Deer are famous for like licking bones and making crime scenes difficult to like decipher. And like cows eat snakes. It's pretty famous. Like sometimes, not like oh, rarely an herbivore will. No, like sometimes, as in every now and again, they will need to eat meat, and sometimes every now and again, a carnivore will need to eat plant matter. I'm not sure how this works in the ocean, if they just eat the fuck out of algae or something, but I'm sure even they need to do it too. Um, there are like no ocean herbivores, by the way. There are practically none. Like there's such a small amount. Everything else eats meat, even fish. Probably don't think about it much, do you? Fucked up little critters, ain't they? Anemones are a horrifying thing. If you're anemone size, those things can eat a bird, and sometimes they do. A sea anemone eats crabs. Did you know that? Anemones are Anemones are animals, first of all, right? You can have animals be beyond the typical quadruped, biped, or octupleped. I guess arachnid it would have been. A body plan. You can have it be a radial body plan, like an anemone. The ocean's great for this. Oceans of alien worlds should be full of wonder and horrific beauty. Because the food web ain't nothing pretty, boys and girls and siblings. That shit fucks you up. It's good though, isn't it? So, what was I saying? I guess the point I'm trying to make is I really long for alien worlds with proper biodiversity. That's why I've been drawn to speculative evolution as of recently. Shout out to Kappa World of Turtles. Shout out to Dragon Slayer Codex. Oh, I was watching this Spec Evo project ages ago. I forgot the name of it. Someone made a Spec Evo project of the inside of a McDonald's cup from like the 70s, and that was so fun. I loved it a lot. And you should go find and watch it. And other such videos. It's very nice. It's a fun hobby to do as well. You don't need to put it up anywhere. You can just do it for yourself. Hell, I've done it. Granted, it's not like I'm not a loser, but you get what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to encourage creativity here. What I do isn't exactly creative, but I do something at least with my free time. Be it write or ramble into OBS in the late hours and early morning hours. Before daylight really is what I'm trying to get at. So, what more can I add upon with HFY? Well, I'd like to remind you all that I like HFY. Um, I love seeing how different humans can be and emphasizing that as a good trait of ours. Our adaptability is probably our number one, our number two trait, seconded only to our brains, but when we're dealing with sapient creatures, that like comparison should be nullified. Humans are adaptable as hell. We live in some of the coldest locations and some of the warmest. We can live in the dark for months at a time, and it only does minor bad things to our psyche. We can live in blisteringly hot deserts or freezing tundra plains. Nomadic peoples to people with a city around them. We've lifted cars for our children, and we've sent them to die as well. Both like brutal in their own measure. And what I mean when we sent them to die is I mean war. War is not bad. I don't. Okay, well, war is bad. No shit, right? What is it? War is bad, motherfuckers. When I show them that war actually does have a respawn mechanic, and there are speakers blasting Little Dark Age, and it's full of explosions and fun guns and shit. You know that meme? Fucking love that meme. Anyway, humans are capable of great things. Whether that great be positive or negative is up to the person and up to the story. HFY is great at drawing these qualities out and expressing them in the story format. But sometimes it's just too bland, too by the books, too by the numbers, and I don't like it. I've already said my gripes without repeating myself, so I won't act like I didn't say it. I mean act like I won't repeat it. Or I mean move on. But what I'm really trying to get at is it's a genre, one I like browsing. I just wish that there was more than humans fight good, humans have a microwave, humans are immortal. Humans are squishy. We're pretty squishy. Can't take hits to the head. Can't take hits to the back of the head, especially. If you get hurt, punched in the chest wrong, your heart can stop. Someone's heart stopped in a football game not too long ago, probably like a year or two ago, because the football hit them in the chest at the exact perfect time to disrupt their heartbeat. And they had a heart attack, and I think they died for a little bit, and they got resuscitated, though. It's all good. Probably not all good, probably dangerous as shit. We can break bones pretty easily. We can get deep wounds pretty easily. Your veins are close to your skin, aren't they? Injuries to the jaw can be fucked up. We're not like this immortal species. We don't got to be. So, adrenaline's a hell of a thing, but it takes its toll on your body. I love the story of the humans have what? As much as the next guy. I really do like those stories. But let's not. Almost puked. Jesus, this bile's fighting me. Oh no. I need to wrap this up quick. And I actually will for once. Jesus. I'd love to see stories where humans can't bounce back from the injury. Right? They need an amputation and they gotta come to grips with it. With help from family and friends. Now that's a humanity fuck yeah I can get behind. We're capable of a lot more than just destructive feats. We can build wonders. Look at the pyramids, look at Hoover fucking Dam, look at nuclear reactors. Right? Look at the stories we make for each other. Humanity, fuck yeah. I'm a big fan. Though I wish it could have a bit more variety. I've mentioned my gripes. I mentioned my why exactly. Probably more to speak of if I kept my consistent train of thought and my body wasn't threatening to puke on me, but I think this is what we'll have to call it. Um, I still don't prefer future settings to other settings, but I'm not heartless or whatever. They're fun. Just don't watch those stupid fucking AI generated slot videos about this shit, yeah? Do yourself a favor and do me a favor, alright? Go ahead and go start reading some shit, it's always fun.